Okay, that'll work. Thank you for that. Why don't you hang on to this one? So nothing happens when I turn the other one. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the town hall. Okay, so we keep this up here. Chief Kathy. If you don't mind moderating, I need moving this around when, so the sound in here is pretty gosh darn good. But we would like to use the walk around mics, so it's even better. So when we record it, go back and look at it, listen to it. The sound is captured a little bit better. So if you don't mind, when we get into dialogue, we're gonna ask you to use a microphone. The one that TJ has, I think that's pretty kind of almost whisper into it, it'll be fine. So don't feel like you have to vocalize on that one too much. Okay, we should be good. As long as we keep the two apart, we're probably good as far as like feedback and stuff like that goes. Well, team, just so it's all recorded just fine because I can't see the little green thing. Thanks for being here and welcome to the city of Portales, basically pool town hall this evening. So our objective is we're going to take you through some slide decks, but we are by no means, I don't think anybody on the panel, unless somebody in the field is, but we don't have subject matter experts on pools here. This is not what we're here for. This meeting is not a one and done. We're not going to engage in this town hall meeting, and walk away and go, yay, verily, we got the answers. We're going to go make something. That's not the objective this evening. This evening's objective is to work together as a city community and hear some ideas back and forth on how people feel about all things pools. And when I say all things pools, from Olympic pools to splash pads to, I don't know what, a sprinkler system that we run through from time to time. I don't know, whatever's on your mind. And that's what we want to do. We want to kind of get a feel on what's on people's mind. And so we can start to collect data, synthesize that data, and move forward with the feelings of the city when it comes to doing anything or nothing with a pool concept. Does that sound fair? So some rules of engagement. Dignity and respect. We're members of the city. We're members of the city. In some cases, maybe we're not. Maybe we're members of the county. But there are no enemies in here. There's no good people, bad people type of thing. We're people in the city that are here to talk about stuff about pools. The city members are not in front of a firing squad. And the people on the side are not a firing squad. We're all together as a community, so we're going to talk about stuff like that. Dignity, respect, open dialogue. Now, bad questions, no such thing as one. I've heard a couple bad questions in my day, but I don't suspect any questions this evening are going to be bad, nefarious, or anything like that. So let us engage with each other. Let's have some fun. I mean, we're not really going to break out party favors and things like that, but let's work together as a community and talk about things, water, pools, stuff like that. So we can start to collect some data and move forward and get some thoughts. Again, not one and done. We're not going to go out of here this evening and go, now we know what we're doing, moving forward. No, we're going to just start laying the first brick in a path to going somewhere or nowhere with a Portales pool or splash pad or water concept. Sound fair? Okay. Well, I'm going to turn this over to you mind being the subject matter expert? Putting this together? Okay, cool. So I'm going to hand this to you. If you would give people the instructions on what to do with the QR code and how we're going to do that, let's get started. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. I am Jo McVeigh, and tonight we're going to do an interactive type of slideshow and informational and questions that we're going to ask you. The QR code that's up on the screen, if you take your phones on the camera setting, and you put it up there and you just kind of hold it, let your camera focus in on that. You should have like this little link right below it. Click on that little link and that should take you in to the app so that you can answer the questions as we go along. And what we do with this is it helps us to collect answers. It helps us to collect data. And a lot of times, you know, a lot of times, but sometimes people don't like to talk during the town halls. They come for information, but they still have opinions. And so this is one way for you to be heard because we do get all of the information that comes out of this. So please be honest. It does not tell us who it is that said anything. So this is, we just get data. So please feel free and join us in the interactiveness.
Yeah, if you QR code in there, it's gonna be a little more fun. And the data is gonna be a little more accurate, so please do that so you can help us out, help us collect the data.
Is anybody having any trouble? Working for everybody? Okay, here's the we go, okay. So we kind of covered the town hall purpose and engagement framework, but let's go ahead and go on. This is inclusive community engagement, so we want to know what you all are thinking, what you all are wanting. So whenever it comes to developing a plan for the community, we need to know, what does the community want? You know, I can't read your minds, I can't get a handful of just a couple of people that give me an idea and then say, that's it, that's what we're doing for the entire town. Everybody's gonna want it because these 3 people want it. So this is what we're here to do, you know, so honesty, that's where I'm at. Purpose of gathering this event gathers initial resident insight to inform future aquatic planning. Not to make immediate decisions, so we are gonna have a follow-up meeting on this. Friendly open tone, so like Mr. Minton said, you know, let's be friendly. Foundation for future planning, and again, you know, this is for futureness. I don't know if that's a word. Futureness. Next slide, please.
That note.
Are you ready? All right, we got some answers. All right, we are ready.
I think I counted like 24, 25 people in the room, so.
Only
we're
10 of
less
them
than
are ready.
50%.
Oh, 11 of them are ready. Well, let's maybe try again. Let's go to the next one. Are you really ready for this meeting? Or are you absolutely ready? You think you're ready, or you forgot your soda?
So the time is ours. If you're having trouble at this point, right, no shame in our game. Maybe we can help out. Are we doing okay?
I lost the QR code left, so.
I got you.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Anybody else?
Oh, did you pay? Did you?
That's
That's a joke.
Everybody should get power. Thank you guys. You're being so
I'm
awesome
ready.
so far.
Here we
All
go.
right, now we are.
There.
You need more help in the back?
Good, good.
Little help in the back. Chief, would you mind helping in the back, please? How's everybody's night been? Your day? It's Thursday. I know, it's not really nighttime yet, is it? It is. It's almost there.
So you just want to talk? Yeah. Okay.
Almost.
Then she said,
Almost. Weekend eve.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Weekend eve?
All right, are we ready to go?
All right, how are we doing?
he wants to speak.
Okay.
No, okay, that sounds good. All right, let's start with, what neighborhood do you live in? So, where are we collecting data from?
So exciting. Participants are typing. Feel so interactive in this one.
You want the subdivision?
Whatever you feel would give us the idea that.
Where you live?
Yeah.
Without giving us your address.
Right,
Right?
there you go, that works too. Yeah, those are good answers, thank you. Those are good. I love that people know their words too, by the way.
They were elected.
Pretend to be the citizens, not being like professionals.
Thanks, chief.
Okay, none of you get credit now. All right, thank you guys so much. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, understanding the aquatic facility context. Go on. Okay. Our current pool challenges in community. Structural and financial challenges. We have seasonal and operational limitations. Community interest in aquatic amenities, balancing priorities and solutions. Portalis's pool has severe structural damage and requires funding beyond the current city budget, limiting its usability and value. Now, if anybody has any questions or as we're going through any of this, and you have something to say, then go ahead and raise your hand and we will pay attention and we'll go ahead and let you interact that way as well. Mr. Mitten, do you have something to say?
Yeah, somebody said they liked an analogy that I brought up with the pool the other day, and I've had this in a couple of discussions. How I feel about our pool is, here we go with the analogy. It's kind of like having a rabid wolf by the ears. You can't hang on forever, but you can't let it go either, right? So that's kind of where we are with the pool. We can't leave it in the current state forever, but we can't use it the way it is, you know? So part of this, including everything else we might discuss about huge projects and aquatic centers and everything else, is we have to work together as a community to figure out what we're gonna do with that rabid wolf type of thing. Can't leave it the way it is, but can't use it the way it is either. You know, so these are things that we have to consider. And even not using it and to get rid of it costs us a lot of money. So nothing's an easy decision here. So these are things that we want your help with, so we can get a clear idea on how to move forward, not as a city hall, not as city employees, but as a community. And if you felt the vibe, I think, you know, people are starting to feel this is how we're engaging and moving forward with a lot of projects. So I do appreciate you being here, but that's where we are. We've got a problem that we've got to deal with. Can we rebuild it, capitalize on it, expand it, or not? Is it worth it? Is that juice worth that squeeze? Or do we find a way to get rid of that and move forward into the futureness with something different and better? Ta-da, okay? Futureness. And somebody wanted to talk. Yes, sir.
Well, I can pretty much guarantee I'm the oldest one here. So I think that's probably an issue you should always consider. Got a lot. Anyone with kids should have a big say in the matter. Well, of course, obviously, the first thing we need to get some kind of an idea about what kind of costs that we're faced with. I was raised on the farm, learned how to swim in a dirt tank. That tells you anything. Had two boys that were lifeguards for a number of years. It's a wonderful exercise for kids. And I know that there's some arguments against just saying, well, it's good exercise. We need to spend $1 million and get this deal going. So I get it. I just kind of wanted to be here and kind of see where things are going. There's no way that I'll be swimming, but Gary and I have fought some of the worst fires in this city many years ago. So we know how important water is. And that's a huge issue also. So I just like to say, just kind of consider the people that you have here and let everyone, be a part of it. And I think you're doing that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your input and helping us to find things to consider and make sure that we focus on the right things. I appreciate that on both sides. Anybody else? Well, there are a couple of things, that we are looking, we're looking at cover the pool. We're looking at or ideas that have been said. I guess we're not looking at ideas that have been said to cover the pool, to refurbish the pool, leave it the way that it is and just refurbish it, to fill it in, to do something else instead of a pool. There are splash pad ideas. There's all kinds, but everything does cost. So let's go on. Aquatic options and potential pathways. Next one, please. If noodles were currency, what would they be worth? $1, $10, or $1 million? Or was it $1 billion?
We're talking pool
Pool noodles.
Yeah, not ramen. Okay.
And pool noodles. Think of all the things that you can do with a pool noodle.
40 cents.
There's a lot of things you can do with a pool noodle. They can be swords. You can float on them. They can insulate the faucet outside whenever it freezes.
It probably depends on the situation, right? Like if you're,
It
if
does.
you're floating about 80 miles out in the ocean, $1 million.
I kind of want a little bit more than a.
I'll take up one pool noodle for $1 million.
Yeah. All right, so it's worth $1. Next slide, please. Okay, so possible aquatic solutions, existing pool repair, repairing the current pool may be costly. With limited improvements due to its age and condition. New outdoor pool offers seasonal recreation with enhanced efficiency and updated design features. Indoor or hybrid aquatic center. Indoor or hybrid aquatic centers provide year-round use but require significant investment and ongoing costs. Splash pads and flexible water features. Splash pads and temporary water features offer low cost, low maintenance options popular with families and children. And does anybody have an opinion? I'm going to go ahead and open that one up right there. Over here.
Yes. My opinion is shoot for the moon as far as grants go. See how much money we can get. Can we get enough money for an indoor or hybrid aquatic center? Cool, go for it. Definitely either a new one or fix the old one. Whatever is most cost, it doesn't matter. We need a pool. We need a pool really bad. Like, I grew up here. I'm born and raised 4th generation Portillian. I grew up at the pool. I lived at the pool on the weekends, in the summer, the summertime, that's where I was. It kept me out of trouble. It kept me out of trouble. It kept me in the water. It kept me with my friends, in a safe place. It was really important growing up here in Portales, having a pool. And now as an adult, like Gary pointed out, exercise. I'm old now. I'm 45. I'm old. I need to do laps somewhere. I need low impact on my knees. I need some water. I need a pool. I need a place to go and swim, when I get off work. Adult swim. That was a thing. That was super cool. I like adult swim. I would do that. Bring some food trucks. Plant some trees again, because there used to be trees all around, and there's so much stuff we could do. Like, it used to be cool. The pool used to be cool, and it could be even cooler now because we have food trucks. We didn't have food trucks then, but we did have the candy thing. That was important. Just stuff like that. Like, make it a cool place again, because without it, like, splash pad, sure, like the toddlers will love that. That's awesome. Great. Little kids running around. Awesome. But, like, what about the teenagers? What about the tweens? What about the 12-year-olds that don't have anywhere to go or anything to do? And, their parents need a break and they need to, just be somewhere safe. So yes, definitely shoot for the moon, see what we can get, but get us a pool, man. Get us a pool. Like, so yeah, that's my opinion.
Thank you. I appreciate your opinion and your voice.
And the slogan, the pool used to be cool.
There you go. That's a pretty good slogan. I like that.
So,
Thank you so much for having this. Just so I know this is amazing. I appreciate it. I moved here a couple of years ago, and was only here for the 1 year that the pool was open, and then that was it for me. I was hoping that EMU and you guys could have made arrangements or we could bring it back. So I'm hoping that this will happen. Don't like the trees idea because as a lifeguard, cleaning up with the leaves is a pain in the butt. But yes, I do agree that we need a pool. How many families are going to go make their own pools and use our water that way? if we had one central location that's affordable and easy for everyone to get to, that's gonna be the best place for the community with our water usage and everything like that. I definitely agree here, unless your parents are bringing you down to a splash pad, our teens aren't gonna use it. I would really like to encourage here, because I know EMU had a pool that they are letting go to the side, from my understanding at least. Seeing if we can do something with this college here. I know they used to have adult aquatics classes. If the city and the university can work together, that may also help with the financing size of everything, because as a lifeguard, I worked at the pool, community, or the EMU pool for a semester here. We had 4 or 5 adults coming in every night to do laps or water aerobics. They would have the track team come do stretching and water aerobics. Like, it was getting used. So if we had something that was available year round, partnered with like the school, I think that would be beneficial.
Thank you very much. And
You got most of what I was gonna say, and one other thing is, we lose a lot of people that go to Real Shoot and use their splash park or water park, whatever they've got. So that would, and if there's any way we could partner with the colleges, with college, with the high school, I believe Clovis even has a swim team at their high school. I don't know if that would be another possibility for to look at also.
You know what? I'm gonna sit on this side, because I wanna throw my 2 cents worth in this.
So, my brother worked at the university under, Chaparral Electric, third-party company, but he would do work at the university. So I had some insider information, and Caleb, certainly correct me if I'm wrong, and I think you touched on it. Love the idea of indoor pool, but for whatever reason, it's become so expensive for the university. Over here talks that we're even thinking about shutting it down. So I'm not opposed to it, but yeah, you get a grant for an indoor pool. It's great for a few years. What about the long term? So expensive. I think we should consider that. Maybe reach out to Eastern. Why? When was it built? Why? What are the pain points? Why is it so expensive that they don't want to continue offering? Open it up. I know back in the day, the aquatics or the aqua aerobics, they'd offer that. So I know there's probably limited, but there's some people that enjoyed it from public or signed up for that classes such as that. But that's my only concern with the indoor. I relate to Eastern. Hey, what are your pain points? Why are you considering shutting it down? And make that part of your decision making process.
yeah, we can definitely do that. We can look into some other places. We can look in and find out what their data is, what it is that it costs per year for them, indoor, outdoor, that type of thing.
On the indoor part, I'm an indoor fan, but I mean, you bring up extremely valid points, but with an indoor pool, the first thing, since the community does have some water issues, the evaporation rate on an indoor pool would be quite a bit less. I do think whatever we do has to have an extremely advanced water filtration system, so that the water that we do put in there, we can get a long life out of that water. The point about the indoor pool is it would allow you to extend your day. It also would allow you to extend your season. And so in doing that, instead of having 60-day temporary jobs, you actually turn that into something that could be little careers or mini careers, and it might not be as hard to staff a pool that's operating more. Additionally, the revenue potentials from senior use for exercise, handicap therapy. We now have educational systems like the schools that are needing to utilize a pool for education. Somebody emailed me today talking about scuba training, which I had not thought about. So, and then just renting it out for other events. So not that the pool would ever make money or a profit, but at least it might not lose as much money. And I think part of the structure of this pool over here is not as bad as we might think, but I do think in general, as a whole, it's a goner and it needs to be started over, just gut feeling. It's been there a long, long time. So anyway, those are some of the thoughts about indoor pool.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Do we have any idea of over the past 20 years, what the repair costs have been and how often we've been unable to use it, short of COVID, of course, but you know, how often has it been open? How often has it been closed? And you know, how much has the repair been the last 20 years?
We do have that data. I have not collected all of that data just yet. But we will do that.
Yeah, the individuals in the front had a good idea, but I was also thinking that to get a meeting going with the county and see if they would like to kick in, because it's going to supply or support everybody in the area. So the county, the school, and then even if once it's going, if we did fundraisers, 5K fun run or something like that, just to help keep the money coming in.
Thank you. These are all really good points.
I too am a born and raised Portalisite. And I grew up taking swimming lessons at the city pool, which was a program offered by the city. And I was a lifeguard for 6 years. And I, you know, so it's personal for me. It was my source of income as a teenager and a college student. And yes, it's vital for us to have something like this in our community for our children, our youth, and the options that we have for, you know, adult use as well. And all of those ideas that this gentleman had. I've not always lived in Portales. I've been in other towns that have aquatic centers, and I'm very familiar with them because of my background in swimming. It's my recreational activity. So anytime I lived somewhere, that was the first thing I did was find out where the pool was. And so the different options that are out there, there are many different ways that we can structure and frame whatever we decide to do, whether we decide to repair and refurbish, remodel the current site, or whether we decide to start from the ground up. There are a lot of different options to look at. One of the other things to consider, aside from the county and the school and other places that we could possibly get funding from it, one of my jobs was lifeguarding at Cannon Air Force Base. And they do a lot of training for crash landing and water situations. And they have to have a pool to do that. And if we had an indoor facility that could run year round, they could train year round. They could potentially use our facility for some of their training because their on-base facility is only a seasonal summertime deal. The size of our current pool would cover it. It needs to be big enough for a parachute to open fully and land on the water top. So it doesn't have to be huge. It just needs to be, you know, probably maybe 20 yards by 20 yards would cover it. So there's another, you know, possible option for usage that we could possibly get some funding out of. But to be able to have a facility that the whole community can use at any age, and to offer some programs from swimming and, you know, I think they did, I'm pretty sure my mom told me that we did like a mommy and me infant and moms thing. I think that's probably where I got my initial love for being in the water. But there's, you know, from birth till the end of life, swimming is one of the only exercises that's good high cardio exercise for a human throughout their entire lifespan. And to offer that in the community in various ways would be a huge asset to this community. And I think the community would use it. So if possible, yes, shoot for the moon and get a facility that is sustainable, that can be used year round by everybody. I think that would be the best option.
I want to thank everybody for the opinions and solutions and just the way that everyone is talking with each other. And I just want to real quick say thank you and I appreciate it. We do have Ms. Smith, are you wanting to say something? Sure. You're okay?
Everybody share, I'll share it.
Here it comes, here comes the mic, coming towards you.
I don't think you're gonna get out of it.
Well, I now have access to people I didn't before. So, my kids all got their swimming lessons here when I was in high school, when I was a sophomore in high school. I was able to do my spring PE requirements, teaching swimming lessons at our high school natatorium. So we would spend the whole day actually was spent, and students throughout the day would do their PE, were qualified and went through the testing, and all of our elementary schools were bussed in throughout the day at different times, and that's how they got their swimming lessons. One other thing that I think is incredibly important about places that are public spaces like pools is the sense of community that it creates. Our parks, our pools, in a world where people are beginning to feel increasingly more and more isolated, especially our young people, being able to go to these places where you may not know everyone in the room, but you feel like you belong because it's your community. You know, and because we're a small community, we're a very friendly community, it shouldn't take very long before people that may have felt a little isolated don't feel so isolated anymore. So there are things beyond, you know, that are even bigger sometimes if we stop and really think about what we're offering our community besides swimming and that sort of thing. There's a bigger picture. And one last thing I would like to add is I would like to explore, if we're going to do an indoor pool, which I'm all for because I agree with all of the points that were brought up, let's just do a rec center that has an indoor pool, basketball courts, because our youth sports are always looking for basketball courts. We need places for our teenagers to be able to go and hang out that's safe, that's clean, that has some responsible adults, you know, that they can build relationship with. They need that desperately. I was looking at Las Vegas, New Mexico, when I was up there in Santa Fe. They came up in a meeting and I thought, I'm gonna look that up. Their rec center, they were talking about the rec center, they just put a new roof on, so I looked it up. Well, Las Vegas is not, I think they got about 1,000 people more than Portales. They are a college town, they have Highlands there. It's a small community, whereas we've usually relied on agriculture and that sort of thing. They have tourism, you know, so they have that, but very, very comparable to New Mexico, to Portales. And they had a big, beautiful recreation center, pool, basketball courts. And I personally would love to make a trip up to Las Vegas and find out, how did you bring this into being? What did it take? What can you offer us in terms of direction and guidance? And then maybe they could give us a template or a direction in which we can start going. But I'm like, hey, let's not just shoot for the moon, which I love that. Let's shoot for Jupiter. Let's build a huge, you know, facility, because when I was knocking on doors, one of the things I heard over and over is we need a place for young people to go. And being part of Generations and doing the 5th quarters, we serve 60 to 80 kids when we've done those. Usually some of the same kids coming back. Why? It's not that we have the fanciest equipment, we have the coolest people. I just won't say that, but we have food and we have a pool table and we have a foosball table and we have people around that want to talk and build a relationship and love on them. And they keep coming back. And so having just a basic recreation that doesn't have to be super fancy, just a few things in there, they'll entertain themselves, but we just need to make it available.
This statement that I probably would use it, but lap pools are great, and I would pay my share. I said I probably would use it, but if there were an opportunity to have times for lap pools, that would be really fantastic, because especially us older folks, it's a wonderful exercise. And I would pay whatever, you need, you know, for a yearly ticket or whatever.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
So it's no secret to anybody how I feel about. it. I'm not against the pool. I'm just against the pool right now with our water issues. So I think that maybe we should probably go in stages. We have a rec center that is just sitting there. It was done. It has all kinds of things for youth. Why don't we look into buying that? And there's property enough that in 4 to 6 years, whenever the youth project is done, we can then go ahead and look at getting a pool and attach it to that area. Let's do something that is feasible for the city now. With the water issues that we have, I just don't think that the pool is sensible for us. And I'm, like I said, I'm not against the pool, I'm against the pool now. Just because of the issues that we have. We haven't resolved our water issues. And I'm gonna tell you, as soon as you fill that pool up with water, there's gonna be people who think that their lawns need to be green. Their trees need to be watered, they need border trees and stuff like that. So what we are telling all the citizens of Portales is, hey, our water issues are resolved because we're putting water into a pool so you can go out and do anything that you want. So we're sending them messages that we do not want them to think that they can, I mean, okay, so I have a property that's an acre. Sandburrs, goat heads. I would like to have some grass because my quality of life has depleted because I have to go and pick those out of my stickers, vacuum my house a lot more and stuff like that. So our thing is let's do the sensible thing. Let's tend to our water issues, but in the meantime, let's look for alternatives. And I mentioned it in meetings. In our parks, let's cut down the grass. Let's do tennis courts, basketball courts, volleyball areas. Let's look into that first. And like I said, 4 to 6 years, whenever the youth project is in, let's look at a pool.
Thank you, I appreciate it. He says, no, I don't wanna do it, nothing. Well, and with all of that said, we do have some slides that you'll be able to give some of your opinion on some of those topics. One of them, what do you want most? What do you most want from a Portales aquatic option? And this one, you know, you can help us out. Just submit where you want to.
So as people are typing when they're finished, it hit send, it comes up, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Next town hall, we're gonna put the Jeopardy song overlay. That's what we're doing, yeah.
Yeah, somebody can listen. I can listen. See, these are a lot of things that y'all were talking about, and that's great. Now it's written down, it's in the data collection, that really helps out. And then you can keep going. Chris, would you mind going to the next one? If you could design the ideal community pool, what would it include? This one, whatever it is that you want to write it down, what would it include? Any ideal pool that you could think of. What would you put in it?
Was writing that, just to get tape on.
Did it take it away because we.
And then,
Yeah, do I need to go back?
I'm so sorry.
You can get You can get the full idea.
I'll wait longer this time.
Oh, no. So. I'll just say-
Great slide. I know. So, the reason why we want it on the slide, because then we have the data.
So we've had a lot of ideas thrown out here. One of the main problems that we've got is evaporation of the water. But part of the beauty of having a pool was people like to lay outside in the sun and get in the pool, get out of the pool, be in the sun. So if you built a facility, even this one, and you built retractable walls and roof, that was like a greenhouse. And it didn't have to be heavy, and you could just roll it out, cover it up. You could have year-long swimming in it. And during portions of the summer, you could roll back a portion of it, leave it open to the sun, but still have the other part covered. And then where the kiddie pool is now, you can make a splash pad for the kids, for the little ones. And not have as much water waste there. I like the idea of commingling funds with Eastern if we can get some grants. Because if the city and Eastern go together and go to the legislature and say, we need an aquatic center here in Portales, I think we've got a much bigger chance of getting something like that done. And
the county did that.
yeah, and then you throw the county in too.
Yeah.
But I think that the water issue is not going to be that big of an issue if you can keep it from evaporating. We were going through thousands of gallons a day during the summer. You know, the kids are splashing around, and it splashes out on the concrete, and then it evaporates and it's gone. So you're continually having to add water to it to keep the pool full. But if you can cover it up, recover that water, clean it back up, reuse it, all of those things are good ideas, but it's going to take money. And so we've got to find a way of sourcing that money, whether it's collaboration with Eastern or there may be some grants out there. There may be some rich guy that's just sitting there waiting for Portales to throw a request in.
So I think Gary in the back said he'll pay whatever.
Yeah.
I think I heard
I
that
think
too.
we're covered there.
Yeah, I think that happened.
But anyway,
There's two paramedics, retired paramedics. On the road. And we know how important the cardiovascular exercise is. And water is one. Used to know.
That is very true. And y'all are coming up with some great
Moderator,
ideas up here.
Might be back.
He's not giving it up. Y'all are coming up with some really good ideas, diving boards, lazy river, kiddie pool, exercise for adults and seniors, walk-in entrance. Are we talking like a zero entry kind of walk-in entrance? Is that what we're thinking? Lounge chairs and shade. I'm sorry, somebody said something.
No, I said excellent.
Yes.
Who put uphill swimming? So I did.
Extended season. Okay, these are great, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. We do have a comment in the back. Go ahead.
Yes, don't shoot me, but I have a friend that has a salt pool. Is that anything that has been discussed?
So that has actually been talked about, and I believe it was done before, but that was before my time, and so I cannot speak on that. But there are others. I'm looking at all of you that possibly have been here before. Nope. That could answer that. I'm not one of them, so I do apologize for that.
So I only think if we want ENMU's involvement, we'll have to bring the competitive edge. Right now, ENMU's geared up for football because we're hoping to be super competitive this year with Coach Bryles coming. Our basketball team's doing better than it's done in years. And if we were to advertise it to the athletic staff, let's get a swim team. Let's get some competitive in it.
Because team water polo, et cetera.
ENMU is all about competition right now. We're wanting to get better in sports so we can get our enrollments up. So if we're going to pitch that to ENMU, I think that would have to be kind of the promise. Like, yeah, we're doing water polo, synchronized swimming, dive teams. Like, we're going for the Olympic sized pool. We're doing the Olympic sized stuff. With like I said, the new sports administrators and stuff, we're gearing up to be competitive in everything. We're wanting to be a better baseball team, getting soccer back, everything. So that's just a little things I know in my position. I'm not in the athletics, obviously, but we're doing the football field house, and we're talking to those coaches, and we're paying them that staff to be a good football for a good football season, and then not only that, but basketball and everything else that we're going for.
Well, I appreciate that. It's good insight.
Yeah, and we can pitch it to Portales too. Like, hey, let's get a swim team back, because I remember when I was in high school, there was a couple kids in swimming, but yeah, that was 2005, 2006.
Yeah, I do.
Eastern used to have a swim team.
Yes, they did.
I think it's, nobody has said no yet. Ms. Baca, you didn't say no. You said, I'm for the pool, just not right now. Or when the conditions get better. I guess I'm speaking like many of you from a standpoint of a long history of being near or in water. Anybody who's been to my house will see boats out front, and they'll see lots of surfboards in the garage and dive gear and all kinds of stuff. So I firmly, absolutely 100% unequivocally believe that people should have the opportunity and sometimes be directed to at least learn how to swim, understand the fitness benefits of being in the water, just the health benefits of being in and around water. But I'm thinking in these terms. When things like this, ENMU pool is, no pun intended, drying up. Our pool is not working. Clovis or Muleshoe might be the place that people kind of need to go. But think about how sad the following thing is. Some of the best vacation destinations in the world are surrounded by water. Think of a Portales kid who grows up, doesn't have the opportunity, the exposure to something like a pool, and then honeymoons in Hawaii. What are they gonna do? Sit on the beach? That's gonna be cool. I can sit on the beach anywhere. They go to Tahiti, Fiji, whatever. We limit our future of our folks if we don't provide them with the opportunity to learn to swim, but not only learn to swim, learn to enjoy swimming. But let's forget about enjoying swimming. Maybe I don't like it, but now I'm on a boat, or I'm on a dock, or I'm on the edge of a pond and I slip in. Funny story. I was riding a mountain bike and I was clipped in with my clip-in binding shoes next to a pond, and I hit a bump. I fell in the pond with my bicycle. Now, I didn't swim with the bicycle, but I just didn't panic either, because I was in the water and I was fairly confident in water and stuff. So you never know when you're gonna find yourself in the water. And the levels of confidence, the levels of fitness, and even the levels of just sheer joy can be reduced if we don't provide our people an opportunity to learn to swim, and in some cases even learn to survive. So I'm not hearing anybody say no. I'm hearing a lot of people say yes. I'm thinking we're gonna go somewhere with this in the future. But I'm not closing the meeting. I'm just gonna close my mouth for a minute. But I do want to address the sheet for the moon. That concept I love, but that's kind of not how it works. So we have to be realistic. When it comes to granting, we have to tell the grantors what we're going to do. So that's part of this process. We have to figure out if the moon is what we want, then eventually we will agree and go, okay, we want indoor, outdoor, retractable roofs and walls, uphill swimming, everything that's up there, right? All of it. And that's okay, because we got to know what the target is, because grantors won't grant us. Yeah, shoot for the moon, we'll give you some money, let us know when you're there. So we do have to be realistic as a team and go, this is what we want. We lock it in, codify it, we explain it, and we can even phase it, but we do have to define it. We can't just ask for grants because nobody will give them to us. So we have to be realistic about that. Okay, cool. Thank you.
So I do know that a lot of these are, long and we talk a lot and we do a lot of statistics and data and all that kind of stuff. But Mr. Mitten's right, this is why we have to have your input whenever we write the grant. I can't just write it, we went to pool. Somebody with a lot more imagination is gonna have a way better story to tell, so we need to have the best one.
I do see hands going up around, and we will get to you, just say, but I got a microphone back here. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to piggyback off of what Caleb was saying, regarding having a competitive having a facility that can host competition. Yes, Eastern used to have a swim team and it died out. They tried to revive it in the early 90s. And it never made again. Since then, we have area high schools that have developed swim programs. We have Clovis that did not have a swim team, until relatively recently. Hobbs now has a swim team. If we want, again, like Caleb said, if we want to bring people to our community, bring students to Eastern, to offer a facility that can host a swim team and potentially have a team at the university, that's a very viable thing to have for recruitment of people to our community and to our university. Since the development of those high school teams has been done, I didn't get answered yet. I very quickly texted a few of my colleagues. I teach at the high school, so I texted out people that I know at other high schools to see if some of the other 5A schools like Carlsbad and Roswell have swim teams, and I haven't heard back from them. But I know that Hobbs does, and they may be swimming, they may be at the pool. But a lot of these, especially schools in the southeastern district of New Mexico, the southeastern quadrant of New Mexico, Eastern is our area university, and a lot of those schools offer swim teams, and we're losing students to other universities because they have swim programs and Eastern does not. So maybe something to consider as well.
And while we are taking comments and questions and everything, please go ahead and look up, and as we go along, please answer away as you'd like to.
I just wanted to say that on the grant situation, and I don't know who is the grant writer, but they are doing a great job for animal control. I was in there today and they were telling me about the cat room, and the facility they have now they're going to add a cat room to it, and that's a really good job.
Well, thank you. Luckily, when you do it for animals, people are more willing to give you money. Ms. Jo here actually has to do all the recreational grants, and she has a lot more mountains to climb than I do. So, but thank you, I appreciate that.
Kelly does a great job. Did we have any others?
Oh, yes, I do. I love the water as well, so I would love to have a pool as well, but would it be easier to get a grant? I mean, y'all don't have to say yes or no now, but something to think about. To present a new pool as a brand new project instead of rebuilding one. When you present it to whoever you present it to, would it be easier for them to say yes to something that is from the ground up, rather than going to repair something and add something for upgrades and stuff like that? Would it be easier for them to say yes? Oh yeah, we'll give you this money for a brand new building. I mean, we don't have to build it there. We can build it somewhere else if we need to, right?
I can answer.
So on the grant piece, it could kind of go either way, but so the reality of grants, as we're experiencing, if you move forward and your objective is to get a pool. Now this is kind of weird. This is how this world works. And you say we want a pool. We want a grant for a pool. Your likelihood of getting that grant goes down. If you approach and you say, we are looking for safe opportunities for teens, youth, We're looking for health, fitness, those types of things. So your motivators and your drivers, when you take, and there are grants from all kinds of different sources, right? So, when you approach it from that end, they don't really seem to, differentiate between new or refurbished. I would tell you they probably lean a little bit more towards new, because new technology is usually more green. It's more efficient. It's easier to maintain because it's built with those things up front in mind. And it's modular, so repairs are generally engineered into it and things like that. So I think from the basic portions of your question, new or old, I think we're better off to lean towards new. And then as opposed to approaching it as specifically a pool, we look at it from things like youth. One approach is youth directed kind of activities. So as a younger person, teen, preteen, or even before, I hang out with nefarious behaving friends and gang members, or I go over towards a pool. So or an aquatic center or a recreation center. So I pursue grants that tell the story that we would pursue with an ultimate end state of giving people an opportunity for healthy lifestyle choices, which would get a lot more traction than saying we want a pool. And unfortunately, that's just kind of how the world works when it comes to those grants and things like that. I got a couple of hands.
And it really does matter on what the funding opportunity says inside of the funding opportunity for like the notes. That is a big part of it all. So Mr. Mins, right? It's not really whether it's new or old. You kind of go along with the funding opportunity language and find out what it is that they are looking at, what we are looking at, where it fits, what fits, and that's where you go with it.
So something coming kind of to my mind here is any way we go, it's probably gonna be a couple of years here. Have we looked into being able to help those who don't have the opportunity to drive up to Clovis or out to Hobbs, like during the summer? Is there any way to maybe do like a weekly trip out there so that like local parents can sign up their kids to go out and have like just one big community like adventure day kind of thing for the pool, and you're signing up from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. or whatever it is, but just that way those who I see on Facebook are complaining that they don't have a way to get up there, have at least the city helping them be able to get their kids active and out and not doing nefarious things.
I have not looked into that myself. Does anybody on our
I would
have
argue
anything
no.
to say on that?
It's not that we're saying no to it, I just haven't put the energy towards someone. I think that would fall maybe under Pat's, not as a person, but Portales Area Transit System in that scope, which I fairly limited. But I mean, it's certainly something that can be considered and weighed. The restriction on the Portales Area Transit System right now would prohibit that, but it's something we can look at considering expanding. Okay, so yeah, thanks for your comment.
I completely hear what my neighbor over here is saying about being mindful of the water situation. And turning around and wanting to sound like we want to build a pool right away. And I think a lot of us are kind of looking at a pool and that's in the recreation center as something that we want to pursue as our water situation improves. I completely agree with what she says. I also believe it's really important right now for our community to see that Portales is definitely taking steps to move forward, to make our community a place that has a great quality of life where families want to move to raise their children here. So with that in mind, if we are going to put a recreation center and a pool and that sort of thing, and there are sorts of things like trucking in water for things like that. How much that would cost, I don't know. It's out there. I don't know what that would cost. But in the meantime, in the interim, as we're working towards that goal to do something for our community that they can see and appreciate now, I would be interested in seeing what we could do with our present pool or somewhere else where we could put in the most amazing splash pad or something like that. Something that's a little water, but it's more water friendly for our area, something that is new, something that's exciting, that allows our community to see that we're moving forward, and maybe even incorporate it into something like a sensory park. Something for our young people, our children that are sensory. I was looking into just parks in general and some of the popular kind of parks that are going into communities. And I read about sensory parks. Something that children that need that could have a place to go to. So incorporating maybe those two together, a splash pad with a sensory park or one in the same would be a great thing that we could do in the interim. That so it shows our community we're moving forward. We hear you. We know that we need these things. Can maybe not be able to do this one right away. It's going to have to be a little bit down the road, but we're working towards it. In the meantime, we're going to work on something like this.
Back to the pond and the bicycle. Did you ride it out of there in the style of Benny Hill?
No.
Let me have that.
I was just taking it away from Phil. Yeah, true story. So, yeah, I was riding along the edge of the pond and hit it like divot. I was mountain biking with some friends. And for what it's worth, it was in Korea, which I was like, I don't want to be in a Korean pond. Yeah, no, but but literally I fell in and the bicycle was kind of out of the water, but I was underwater and pushing down on like weeds and I couldn't really get any traction. So I could get up to breathe. I could put my head up. I was laughing a little bit, but then I started to realize my friends were laughing too. So they were helping me. Yeah. And so I was like, gosh, I'm kind of in a fix. Now, how many, if you've ever ridden a bicycle with clip-in bindings, they can be a challenge sometimes, but you can clip in and clip out easy when you're on a dry road, but when you're upside down in a pond, they don't clip in and out so easy. But anyway, the point with that is, and the reason I brought it up and I thought about it is it wasn't so much about swimming. It was about being confident in the water and realizing that I didn't need to panic. And having panicked, it probably, maybe I would have swallowed a Korean goldfish. I don't know, but our people, our youth, our people coming up in the future deserve to have the opportunities to experience a certain level of exposure to water to where they can learn to swim, learn to be relatively confident, learn to have a relative amount of joy in the water, and also have those skills to not panic when hopefully they don't find themselves upside down with a bicycle clipped to them in a Korean pond. But they deserve the opportunities to be exposed to water in a controlled environment so that they can have a more flowering life, experience more opportunities. I would hate the thought of going to Hawaii and not getting in the water. I would hate it. It would drive me crazy. And I want our people to be able to do stuff like that, to be comfortable doing it. So that's my bicycle story.
It's along those same lines. When I grew up, I was on the swim team in this old pool here, and I took it for granted, but I didn't realize I was learning a life skill. I think a splash pad is fun. I've never seen anybody learn to swim on a splash pad. It is a fun deal, but what kind of price do you put on learning how to save your own life? I've had some friends that lost their lives in that manner, not knowing how to swim. The other thing I want to point out with Maureen brought up an excellent point. We cannot place ourselves in a hypocritical situation, especially me squealing about water conservation for 3 years. I can't turn around and say, oh, it's okay, now let's get a pool. It would have to be a very efficient system. And for example, if we don't have a pool, Portales has a pool in about every other yard scattered all over the city, if not water tanks and everything else. So we're putting water in pools in backyards as it is. And if we could reduce that and run it through sprinklers and other things, that is going to help be more efficient. And then we really do need a state-of-the-art system that we can put water in and it recycles it and doesn't lose it. This pool was losing 7,000 gallons a day we couldn't do anything like that. So at any rate.
Just really quickly, I really like this slide in that, well, the previous slide, excuse me, that talked about wanting to do multiple things. That shows the community heart, you know, that we want to be able to do lots of different things for all of the community. But from an administrative standpoint, that allows us to scale it and to do a portion here, a portion here, a portion here, and build on it to where it's more financially feasible and grants are easier to get.
All right, is everybody able to have input and you can see the TV screen? Y'all are doing great, actually. You're answering really well and I appreciate that. So whenever we're talking about memberships, you know, it's a question of like a yearly membership, a monthly membership, or do you pay day to day? And that would help with, you know, upkeep and that type of thing. A mix of options, partnerships, one-time fees, local taxes. That is not a popular one, neither is partnerships.
Partnerships would be a mix of things.
Well, could be, yes. All right, community engagement and collaborative input. Facilitated small group and open mic discussions like we have tonight. Small group discussions, small groups enable deep exploration of topics with opportunities of quieter voices to contribute comfortably. Facilitated guidance, facilitators encourage reflection on trade-offs, creative ideas, and intergenerational needs during discussions. You know, and that's important to hear from all ages. You know, we think of pools and we think of like little kids. Sometimes I think that we forget that it can be used for seniors, for adults, for lap swims. That for 45, yes ma'am, for 45. So I think it's really important that we have everybody represented, and I believe that we have a good mix tonight where we are representing a lot of different ages, generations, all of it tonight, and I do appreciate that very much. This participatory design builds trust and support in community-driven planning process through respectful dialogue. How do y'all feel about this type of design that we're doing tonight? Do you feel heard? I appreciate that. I would like to make sure that we are able to hear you. We're able to hear the community, and I appreciate that everybody came out so that we can actually have some feedback.
Yeah, I went home and stretched out and stuff, cause I was, man, they're gonna come at us tonight. So like stretching out, I don't think my knees were bad as usual. Yeah, I was like ready, doing my judo moves and stuff, so, yeah, and the respect and the dialogue and the thoughts and the openness in here, I think is amazing, so. I appreciate that. I think everybody appreciates that. I think you appreciate it probably. But I think so we can get some ideas, thoughts, sentiment in general, and to continue to move forward. Now, I don't know if we're doing any of this or not, but what I can tell you is what I think I envision with this kind of stuff is something Joe just said. I can really see as we go forward with some more of these, some students coming and talking about what they would like to see. Now, granted, they'll probably be graduated and well into their collegiate career. When some of this really gets going, right? But it's important to hear from that voice and those folks. And I think capturing some of this, because I know it's videoed and whatnot, but I'm just seeing in my mind's eye city council meetings where younger people come up and take 3 minutes and talk about how much they would appreciate a pool if it was there, what they would do if they had one. Some other folks talking about that, how many laps you would swim if it was there because you missed doing aerobic training in the pool.
I don't remember, I've got a lot of convenience.
Just pick a number. But, and let me tell you the importance of those things. When we start to craft a message, develop a message, when we move forward and take some of these things to other people who might be grantors, legislators and others, we can play some of that stuff back from time to time and go, look, this is where we are with this. This is where people want to go with this and so on. And it creates you being here and us developing and moving forward with these types of things, getting those students involved and coming and talking to us, having that on video and stuff becomes very compelling when we move forward and start telling folks, this is what we're gonna do. We're shooting for the moon, but we're not gonna ride it like that. We're shooting for a multifaceted phased approach to get to a recreation center that serves folks of different ages, including toddlers up through folks my age and beyond. And what we would do with that and how that provides opportunities for people to engage in healthy lifestyle choices as opposed to nefarious behaviors. There are opioid related grants and funds standing by waiting to grant money that's has been secured by legal means from creators and manufacturers of narcotics and things that have been misused in the past. They're waiting for a landing spot, and they're waiting for communities like ours to craft this message in a healthy manner so they can say, look what we did. Yeah, we might have gone off on a bad track, i.e. the drug manufacturers decades ago, and it created some problems, but we're doing our part to help communities now. And so that money's out there. I see it in my mind's eye, people testifying about what they would do with pools, about people, yearning for them and putting that together as a message and taking it forward to some of those grantors. It's gonna happen if that's what you want to do. We just need more and more help from you to get that message, and we'll start crafting it. We'll work with you more and more, and we'll start putting that stuff forward. And I believe in my heart of hearts, it's gonna happen in Port Dallas, if that's what we want to do.
Why did you look at me when you said nefarious behavior?
He's probably wondering who in the world said
I
it.
surf the internet. I see.
Students.
Yeah.
Flipper.
Well, I don't know, that last slide said that Mr. Mitten was banned, Jenna and IT over there. I don't know what the three of y'all did. I mean, Mr. Mitten and his judo moves with the pool noodle, so I would understand that.
I'm just glad Gary said he'd pay whatever.
We do it. Olympic diving platform.
Okay, so we have a lot of other, and we have water slides, diving boards, lap lanes, lazy river. All right,
Anybody want to discuss other?
that's kind of what I was curious
As
about
long as
as
it's healthy,
well.
like I don't want to hear really weird other stuff that, like,
Are we thinking like volleyball nets, basketball, what kind of stuff?
I always like to be able to scuba dive. I think it's a really interesting thing to learn, especially if we have people who want to go on vacations. Here it's kind of something cool to learn and be able to do. We can go up to Blue Hole and make trips and stuff like that. It's something fun for the community to add it to. Also, just a feedback, is there any way on these maybe to do more than one option?
Oh, okay, so instead of the choices, you would like to just kind of put. your
Like
own
1, 2,
input
3
in?
or something.
Okay,
Top, medium,
Some
low.
of them are word choices, it was just the way the presentation got put together, but we can do the next one where all it is you have to give it to us instead of choices.
you would rather it be your own answer rather, instead of multiple choice?
I think it's kind of a mix for myself, because like if I could do like preferred and like secondary or something, then it would give more ideas as to what, from my point of view, is more important. And then instead of saying like other or combinations and stuff like that, because then you're thinking I'm wanting something other, and when it's like, well, I think if we could do both, like we need to do a combination, but my second one will be like the partnerships, like the funding one.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the input. We can deal with that. We can handle it. Thank you.
About the same as just, on other, just, you could probably do a combination of most of them things that are up there on the pool, the pool over at, took grandkids over to Muleshoe last summer, and they had the lazy river, and they had the zero entrance, and they had diving boards, so I think it could be, looked at, and most of the things that were up there could be probably worked into one center.
All right. Did everybody get it? Oh, we already switched. What programs would you participate in?
Yeah.
Okay, we see classes. What kind of classes? Does anybody want to expand on classes? Are we aerobic classes? Oh, we have somebody behind us.
So on this type of slide, the more people that put in a specific thing, the bigger it gets.
Oh, cool. Need to know.
Oh, yeah, classes, just any kind of classes. you know, for swimming, any kind of swimming classes, whether, you know, learning how to swim better, doing aqua aerobics, like I put classes just so that it could be open for kind of, I don't know, you know, however, whatever kind of classes. But
Anything people can think up and
Yeah.
exercise with or
Yeah,
learn from?
definitely. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Renting for events, competition, lap swim, lessons for kids and adults, fitness, water sports for teens, movie night.
Okay.
That's one I hadn't thought of.
Jaws.
Fly fishing.
That's what's going
Yeah,
on.
right.
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah.
So John, in the Bay Area, you're watching John. So this is.
Yeah, that's not good. I think.
So- Can somebody explain fly fishing at the pool for me?
Fly fishing.
Yeah, can you fly fish in a pool? Are we just learning the cast?
Just like, sure, someone saw Lazy River and then.
Anybody else? These are great, guys. All right, next one, please.
Jet skis. Yeah.
I promise I was gonna say. I got a half a dozen.
We have a half a dozen boats and jets. How much would you be willing to pay for admission or membership?
This one doesn't give it options.
Yeah. It doesn't let you type. It doesn't have any, no.
It's a rhetorical question, just like.
Ready, everybody shout a number.
One.
One. Okay,
There you go.
rules are now currency. Should children be accompanied by an adult at a certain age?
Yes.
Anybody want to entertain why this question's up there?
Because it'll happen.
What will happen?
That thing will just get dropped off at the front door. Absolutely.
Would you like a microphone for that?
Maybe.
Oh, sorry.
What age is children though?
That is also a good question. What age would children be?
I work at Clovis as lifeguard, as you probably expect here. They go by 16 here. Because just, I don't know exactly why that age was decided on. But the issue there is still if someone who's 16 gets hurt, there is no adult there and the lifeguards or the manager has to be the parent. And sometimes the kids just won't listen because they don't think that you have the right to tell them, hey, don't run. Because they don't understand, if you run, you're gonna slip and you hit your head and then we're gonna have a huge concussion and blood everywhere and all this other fun stuff that no one wants to go through.
Yeah, it took a deep dive. Thank you.
Well, on that note, for fire and EMS, if we're called to anyone under the age of 18 and there's not a parent present, we have to transport. Because they're an unattended minor.
Yeah.
So I'm at the public library and during the summer, we have a lot of kids that come in who spend the entire day there. We do have an age cap for that, where if they're under a certain age, they have to be accompanied by an adult. I would think that it would be much younger, or they have to be much older for the pool. But I cannot imagine a pool full of kids without supervision. I mean, it's enough to worry about them in a closed-in area that is dry without having to worry about them drowning. So, yeah, absolutely.
And we're kind of in the weeds. We're way forward we're in our futureness with this. So, but it's a fair question, and these are the types of things we have to consider as a community. You know, Knott's Berry Farm, California. Anybody familiar with it? Okay, it's Knott's Berry Farm, California. It's kind of like a Disneyland-ish thing with a Western thing. Knott's Berry Farm came out with a concept. They're like, we think we will improve our revenue streams by offering season passes. So a season pass for people over 18 was maybe like $800. And then a season pass for youth was about $400. So it didn't take people in Orange County very long to go, wait a minute. So for $400, I can buy a year's worth of daycare. So vans would show up at like 8 in the morning and drop off kids of different ages, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way through. And parents would drop them off and go, here, just stay in Knott's Berry Farm and I'll pick you up at 5 o'clock. Knott's Berry Farm within like a month was just overwhelmed with kids everywhere. And they didn't think through that thing when they put out that one and done season pass type of deal. And then they had to reel all that back in. They had all kinds of problems with just tethered youth of different ages running amok all over the place. They were finding kids in like they were in the literally in the weeds. They were like in the flower beds and behind all the scenes and climbing all over trains and all kinds of stuff. It almost shut the whole place down. But just an example of the things that we have to think about as a community as we look to these kind of things. And how do we do that? How do we do it with cause? And how do we do it with caution as well, so that we proceed and we don't become our own worst enemy with something like this? So just things to think about. Nothing is easy. Nothing's easy.
If the pool had Yelp reviews, what would it say about you as a customer? Need to be visited more. Don't try high dive.
Okay.
Best customer ever. I like the confidence.
So they need to be visited more. I'm not sure if someone meant that or they just need a hug. I'm not. No Doritos. Okay.
Is that a reminder for the months? Means a serious shave.
Now everyone's looking at me.
Do we want a heated pool? So it's kind of a silly question, but also kind of a serious question, and you think about it, if you want heated pool, not heated pool, just a little bit of a temperature change. Do you want hot tub? Do you, any of that stuff? Or does that just completely gross you out? But people, it does.
Yeah, Chris, it kicked us back to the previous question. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. It doesn't actually, yes. Yeah, there we go.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I don't know, again, like if it was year round, then it would need to be heated. It would have to be year round. Yeah, if it were summer only, then we don't need it. But we want it to be heated, yeah, because that's expensive. Yeah. I'm sure.
That's what out here on the regions for 25 years. Make sure that.
All right, next, please. What concerns should we plan around? We already talked about that one.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of this water conservation.
Yeah.
That one, okay, water conservation. I was actually addressing Tom and the children part.
Well. It segues back to that though. It's a huge concern. I mean,
It
that's
actually
a
is.
problem at the rec center.
Yes.
So it is. a
Yes,
huge
it is.
concern.
You know,
When it-
a thought on grants, so. Probably, something like this probably isn't gonna happen unless people invest in it, i.e. grants. A weird grantism. If we were granted money to do this, which I'm sure we can do that. And we, at the municipal level, let it fail. Let's say someone granted us 12, 13, 14 million dollars one time over time. And because of whatever reason, it wouldn't matter. If we shuttered that pool at some point, our likelihood of getting other grants would drop drastically. So people look at your track record when you're granted money. What did you do with the money you had before? And did you sustain it as it continuing to go, or did you let it die? So if we do this and move forward and we come up with something, the money is granted, as a municipality, we have to continue to make sure that we're good stewards of that investment. And whatever it takes, we have to keep that going. Because if we look at like the Portales Fun Center, now that's not our project, but it's kind of a thing. It's in your face. It's almost a grave marker of what started but then died on the vine. You know, so think of that too, as far as like scalability and phased approaches. Now, it sounded to me like splash pads weren't the favorite concept. But maybe we start with something like that. Maybe we start with a splash pad and then we move to a shallow lap pool and it all kind of connects as we go, or something like that. And our end state is the full Monty, where we have the indoor, outdoor combined sunshades, retractable walls, selling sunscreen at the kiosk, and food trucks, of course, you know, all of that as an end state, but we take it in smaller bites to show that we can manage that, as opposed to, we will get to the moon, but, you know, we do it in phases, so we show that it's sustainable and responsible. So just keep that in mind. Food trucks. Thank you. Got it. Solar panels, awesome.
These are fun ideas.
So just a question on who builds the pool if we do give the grant? Is there certain companies you have to choose from, or like what does the construction look, or do we know?
I think it would go to bid, yeah.
Yeah, so in that situation, with that kind of funding and everything that would come about, it would go to bid. More than likely, yeah, it's gonna go to bid.
And is there like specific pool crews that only do pools specifically, or are there more local construction crews?
I think there's, and I know we got a question over here. I'm pretty sure there's commercial off the shelf pools, right? It doesn't, they're big, but they dig a hole, a giant pool in pieces gets like bolted together in there. And then the tubes that they slide through, the retractable walls and stuff like that. And I'm not making fun. But I think commercial off the shelf pieces and components and modular pieces are purchased based on the grant. And we would tell somebody up front, this is kind of what we want. That's the shoot for the moon concept. And we would pretty much tell them like it's like a giant pool jungle gym thing. And we would say, this is what we want. And when I say jungle gym, I mean it's big. You have like buildings and things that, and the solar panels that were up there, all of that would be part of our grant request. And then when that grant or phases of that grant were let, then that portion of that letting would probably go out for bid. The off the shelf things would be purchased probably through that vendor or that contractor as part of that funding. And then that contractor would probably be bid, modification, design, installation, then checking, you know, in the punch list, and then turnover. Food trucks.
Food trucks. And whenever we do the RFP or the ITB, what are those shows? Oh, I'm sorry, the request for, what's that?
It's a good job with the acronyms.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I did it again. Request for bid, whenever we do those types of solicitations, then in those, there is criteria for the contractors, but we do solicit those to everyone. We don't have like a specific group that we solicit to. They do go out so that everyone can see them. They're in the newspaper. They're on the website. We are there for people to answer. So you can be local, you can be far away. You just have to answer, and then you have to rank. Your proposal needs to rank within the criteria numbers. And that's kind of how that comes about. You also have to be licensed with the correct licensure to work for a government. Does that help your answer? Okay.
This is just sort of maybe it's in the weeds, but you mentioned administration and making sure that, you know, it's sustainable and, you know, that we don't build something and then not be able to sustain it. I do think administration and like having the right people in charge of things, because the last year that the pool was open, I went to Adult Swim. You know, I went to swim because that's what I do. And it just, my heart was so sad. It was really awful. Like there were 6 people in the thing on their phones. There wasn't anyone out. I wrote a letter to the city because it was so concerning, the level of not working that the people that were supposed to be there working, doing. The bathrooms were awful. There was a sock in the pool, like, and there was nobody there, you know, and it was a whole situation. So just kind of throwing that out there as a potential thing, making sure that the right people are in charge of the facilities that we do have, making sure that, you know, that they're in the right place.
I would absolutely agree with what you just said. So from my perspective, I came out of retirement to take this job as the public works director. Everybody asked me why I came out of retirement. Well, the position was open for a few years, and every day I drive by the parks. They're going downhill, pool went downhill, everything started going downhill. So I came out of retirement to take this job with in mind that I'm gonna fix all the parks, all the pool and everything. But to do that, I do have to fix the water first. That's the #1 priority. But these plans come into place, you know, we plan right now for something in 4 years because we just have to be ready for the future. And when these grants come up, you know, our water situation's getting a lot better. We will have heat water hopefully by 2030. That's 4 years away. And we're actually exploring other avenues to maybe get water sooner than that. But, you know, my ultimate goal in this position is to get youth back in our parks, get everybody back in our parks, the swimming pool included. So, you know, planning ahead like this is great. We're actually having a master plan for all of our parks and then individual plans for each park, which once we figure out what pool, what type, we're going to add that into our plans and move on from there. But I agree with you on everything you said. And that's our #1 goal. And I think now you have the support of council, mayor, city manager, basically everybody at City Hall. So that's why I'm here, and hopefully we'll get all this accomplished soon. I'm not gonna say the pool's gonna be open this summer, because more than likely it's not. But we gotta play. Yeah. But, you know, we build these plans and then we start sticking to these plans and eventually we'll get everything accomplished.
So, on the granting piece, now, the fact that you're here, there's 20+ people in the room, that's amazing, and you're not hostile, that's even more amazing, so thank you for that. But doing these types of things, we learn together, and what I'm gonna ask of you is to, you know, have a clear understanding of different things when you come out of these, and also help be advocates for the ways ahead on the city. So when someone comes up later and goes, man, that pool's just junk, I would ask you to go, you know what, I sat in this town hall and here's some things that we're talking about, kind of stuff. When I say we really are, you too, right? But if you don't mind, let's learn about grants just a little bit, like not even grant 101. This is like grant 10th grade kind of stuff, okay? So grants are to a certain extent free money, but they come with responsibility. And let's just use 10 million. Let's assume that our recreation center is going to cost 10 million. more likely than not, that 10 million is gonna come at a 90-10 or a 80-20 grant. And what that means on a 90-10 is of that 10 million, a grantor will say, here you go, it's $10 million project. We're gonna give you 9 million. Portales, you need to come up with $1 million. But Portales doesn't have $1 million. So what Portales does through things like DFA and whatnot, Department of Finance Authority or Administration, they will say, we're gonna loan you that 1 million you need if you can't come up with it on your own. And it's gonna be on a 15 to 20-year note, and it's gonna be on a low interest thing, but that increases our debt factor. We do have debt, the city has debt, and we pay it, we're doing that. And that's just how it works, that's how you run a city. But think about your comment a minute ago, the pool was failing, had a sock in it. That's so gross, I can't even comprehend it. And the risk of that pool failed. If that pool failed, it's the Portales pool failed, shutter it, see you later. If we move forward with something like this and it's 10 or $20 million and it fails, we still gotta pay the loan. The grantor wants to know what happened to their money and all that. So there's another side of pressure on this pool, which isn't bad. I'm glad we had it. I'm glad people got to enjoy it. The so what factor was, so we shutter it and we deal with it and we answer what people ask. But if we move forward, which we will in the futureness, and we develop something, there's another element of pressure. There's also financial pressure that we will have to do what it takes to keep that thing going. We will have to dip into our funds if we're not making ends meet. We're gonna have to come up with other things. You can't keep going back to the grant well, because you do put a business plan together on how it's gonna work when you come up with something. So we're saying, yeah, we're gonna, if the city wants to do this, we're gonna move forward to do whatever this is, but there's more pressure than the new pool will not be apples to apples with the old pool. The new pool concept will be apples and oranges, and you have to understand that it's gonna come, it will more likely than not come with an element of a 15-year loan and social pressures to grantors that we're being good stewards of that money, and we have to make that happen going forward. So just keep that in mind. It's incredibly complex, and there's a very hefty level of responsibility in keeping that going. Just truth in lending, no pun intended. So where are we? How are we doing?
So we are at what happens after the meetings and what are we going to do? So with all of our information, we are going to take all of the data, we're collecting it. And we are going to make reports, and that helps us to come up with our ideas. We're going to evaluate, we hear phases, we hear yeses and nos and what it is that you want. We're gonna keep going, we're gonna have another meeting, and we're gonna have all of our data collected for that. We're gonna bring that forward and let you know how it is that we put it together into like our neat little puzzle piece. Hopefully it'll be kind of neat. And then sustainable and equitable vision, future aquatics development aims to be financially sustainable, just like Mr. Minton was talking about, equitable and aligned with community goals. So with all of the positives and the goods and everything that we want to do, we want to make sure that it's with the community goals in mind. Oh, we have a funny. If sunscreen could talk, what would it scream when you forget to reapply?
Type it in. So hey, super appreciate folks coming out here. We will do more of these, right? And the next one will be a building block upon this. So we'll take the lessons learned from this. She looks like a lobster, will probably be in the next presentation, and we will go over a recap of what we did tonight. But I would encourage you, almost ask you, so when we do the next one, let's plan on a little bit bigger venue, and I'm going to ask you to invite more people. I'm sorry?
Some kids come in now.
With adults, we don't just tell random kids. But I get it, I made light of it, but yeah.
Neighbors real, we're not gonna be strangers.
Let's capitalize on some of that. Let's hear from the youth a little bit, you know. Get some folks in here that let's hear the young voices ask and talk and whatnot. That would be amazing. And let's do that. Let's get a little bit bigger venue, maybe the Yam or something like that. I'm gonna ask you to ask more people to come. We want to hear from you. We want to start with what we got. We want to recap on that. And then we will start to refine it and tell you where we are with the message. And we'll start making a plan. And like someone said, I'm gonna tell you, there will not be a pool this summer. If we started today, if Gary gave us the money today, because he said no cap, he's like, whatever it takes, it still wouldn't happen by this summer, just because that's how it goes. So that's realistic. But moving forward, taking all things into consideration, right? Let's build on this. Let's get some more people involved, spread the goodness, let them know. I mean, right, wrong, or otherwise, whatever you thought of the meeting, let people know. If you enjoyed it, if you think we're on the right track, if you think working together as a community to get things done is helpful, then get some other folks out here with us. Synergy, brain power, multiple sets of eyes and ears on topics. I think we're on the right path. Yeah, the fact that you're here, you either thought we were on the right path or you wanted to pick us apart. Doesn't matter. Everything's been going really well tonight, and I appreciate that. But you had a motivator to be here. And if your motivator to be here is to work together and get us into our futureness, I love the word. I'm going to keep using it. I'm not picking on you. Get some more folks out here and let's get more synergy, more power. I appreciate that. Thanks. Thank you. I'm not really closing the meeting. I'm just saying what Scott's saying. But let's get more folks, different age groups out here, and let's make it happen. Let's get very compelling with our message, and let's keep pushing on this to get something happening. And I'm not gonna, I dropped the mic. It's my mic. I'm not gonna drop it, so.
So I'm just gonna say thank you to everybody for coming out. Please do come to the next one. Please do invite other people, and we can't have a solution if we don't start somewhere. So this is where we're gonna start. Please continue coming. Otherwise, we can't continue finding solutions, whether the solution is pool, no pool, whatever the solution is, it is hearing from the community. So please keep coming out, and thank you so much for all of the input tonight. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.